Let us discuss about the macroeconomic policy and the objectives of macroeconomic policy adopted by various governments. Every economy developed as well as developing aspires to certain goals like rapid economic growth, high employment and stable prices, etc. To achieve these kind of long-term goals, every economy needs certain appropriate macroeconomic policies. Policy economics is the realm of normative economics and should be differentiated from positive economics. Positive economics deals with purely analytical matters of cause and effect without telling anything about the change, whether the change is desirable or not. In macroeconomic policy refers to the process of manipulating a number of policy instruments in such a way as to achieve desired changes in the size and composition of national income, employment level, and price stability in the economy. And macroeconomic policies are framed within the limitations of the economic policy. Let us discuss about the development of macroeconomic policy. The classical and neoclassical economists, they relied more on the market mechanism to correct economic disorders. But in the recent years, economics has brought in the short-term aggregate analysis as a better tool to understand and solve the problem of the whole economy. Advances in economic knowledge and the ability to apply that knowledge to matters of practical policy making have come from several complementary sources. The first was the Keynesian theoretical breakthrough in 1930s. The second and the perhaps equally important was the increase in fatal knowledge about the behavior of the economy. Before the close of the first quarter of the 20th century, no systematic records of GNP and its components were published. Sufficient data regarding labor force, employment, unemployment did not become available until after the Second World War. The third was the development of multi-sectoral models of the economy with the help of computer technology. These models have improved forecasting and analysis to a degree unthinkable in the period before Second World War. Obviously, the last 40 years or so have witnessed a transition of economics from a field characterized by deductive speculation into a truly empirical policy science. Let us discuss about the objectives of macroeconomic policy. The aim of macroeconomic policy vary with the goal and objectives of governments. In the earlier days, the tools of macroeconomic policy were used to suit the ends of the rulers. Dictators like Adolf Hitler used it for war finance. But in modern days, macroeconomic policy aims at a broadly speaking growth with stability. Let us discuss about the foremost important objective of macroeconomic policy is to achieve full employment. Employment is a serious problem all over the world. There are various types of unemployment. The goal of macroeconomic policy is to keep the level of unemployment at the minimum level. Keynes and post-Keynesian have highlighted the importance of maintaining the level of full employment in an economy. Macroeconomic policy has to be designed in such a way as to deal with two major types of unemployment. They are unemployment due to inadequate aggregate demand and unemployment due to structural changes. Unemployment arising as a result of deficient demand can be removed by a suitable combination of monetary and fiscal policies, but it is rather difficult to combat structural unemployment. The second objective is to achieve price stability. A policy for price stability must protect the economy from the dangers of both inflationary and deflationary pressures. That is achieved by controlling the aggregate demand through monetary as well as physical measures. Moreover, the government can seek to control price level through wage price policies or income policies. Stability can also be maintained through another kind of price policy called exhaustion. That is, the central authorities can make appeal for moderation in fixing prices and wages. Then the third objective is maintaining the balance of payment. Macroeconomic policy also aims at avoiding fluctuations in the exchange rate. The balance of payment problems are caused by the changes within as well as the outside changes in the economy. The central authority can do little to control exchange outside the country. The internal causes are mainly due to domestic inflation and the changes in the consumption pattern taking place in the course of economic growth. The balance of payment problem can be talked with two types of macroeconomic policies. The first type of policy is called expenditure dampening policy, attempts to reduce the national income by raising taxes or reducing government expenditure. The reduction in income will in turn reduce the expenditure of households on goods. However, the effect of this policy depends upon the proportion of income spent on imports. The second type of policy, namely the expenditure switching policy, attempts tax imports and subsidy exports or devalue the exchange rate. Such a policy changes the price of foreign goods relating to the exchange rate of domestic goods. Then the fourth objective is raising rates of economic growth. Faster rate of economic growth is the surest way to achieve higher standard of living for the people of the country. Growth is a complex macroeconomic policy variable. Several theories have been put forward for achieving rapid economic growth. Most of them advocate the policy of raising the rate of new investment as a stimulant to growth. Various views have been expressed about the process of growth. Some others believe that period of excess capacity without inflationary pressures are beneficial to growth. It is also held that a drastic cut in demand and recession will have a short-term dampening effect on growth. Then the fifth objective is achieving economic justice. Another objective of macroeconomic policy is achieving distributive justice. Many believe that growth without distributive justice will lead to a dangerous trend in the economy. Generally speaking, it means that the national income is distributed to all sections of the population in an equitable manner. Gross inequalities in income and wealth will lead to class hatred between the haves and have-nots. Economic justice cannot be ensured by promoting more economic growth. It requires deliberate and bold action. That is, poverty has to be eradicated, employment potential augmented in order to meet the demands for jobs for the increasing population. Adequate care must be made to avoid concentration of wealth and income. Therefore, distributive justice could be ensured only through a concerted efforts. Then the next objective is social objective, that is achieving economic justice. Another important of macroeconomic policy is achieving distributive justice. Let us sum up that the other than economic welfare, macroeconomic policy is also used to attain some social and social welfare functions. This means that income distribution needs to be more fair and equitable. This is the goal of economic freedom, that is characterized by the right of taking economic decision by any individual, rich or poor, high caste or low caste. Thank you.